Hi all, in this video we will try to understand the impact of Jupiter debilitation in your horoscope. Jupiter is the representation of general happiness and progressive career and a good married life and conception of children. So this is the main indication. Jupiter's natural behavior is that. The debilitation of a planet, in the sense the planet is emanating less rays. So when Jupiter is in Capricorn, it generally emanates very less amount of rays onto the earth. Then at that point of time, if a person is taking birth and in his chart, if no other planets are also supporting much, then the person may have less progress in the education. In the education, in the sense, they may expect something great, but they get something lower than that. And in the career also, something like if you observe the friends of that particular native, the friends of that particular native may be very much forwarded in their career, but this guy is not so forwarded. It's because of Jupiter debilitation, and other planets are also not much supporting, right? And one more thing we can also see, the marriage may get delayed. Also, a childbirth also get delayed, right? So a kind of delay you can expect. Debilitation doesn't mean it's not going to give that, but it is going to give it very lately, or it is going to give a lesser quality of one, right? So if you are expecting 100 out of 100, it may give 70 out of 100 marks, right? Or if you are expecting some money to come to you in the next month, it may come to you after 1 year, something like that, right? Either it is delayed or a very less quality of thing is applied to you. So such kind of things happen when Jupiter is debilitated, because Jupiter's natural behavior is giving this kind of the natural and the normal happiness that everyone can experience, right? Just imagine a person, the general happiness is a person is doing education, he is expecting something 100 out of 100, okay, it's okay if he is getting 90 or whatever, right, up to some expectations. And if he is getting a good seat in a college, and then he is finishing that bachelor degree or master degree or whatever, and then getting married and childbirth is happening immediately within 1 or 2 years, then the life is going very smoothly, you can clearly see. So if Jupiter is good, then this kind of general happiness the person can experience very easily, right? If Venus is also very good, then the person is going to experience even more great abundance in his life, like he may become a multi-millionaire or something like that, right? So if all the planets are very strongly placed, then of course it's very easy for the person to become multi-millionaire and all the stuff, right? But the fundamental thing is Jupiter's support is needed, right? So even though Jupiter is debilitated, some people may have some other planets very good, like Saturn may be very good, or Mercury may be very good. So in that case, what happens with the strength of Saturn and Mercury or some other planet, right? They are going to achieve Jupiter. Means Jupiter is less, so obviously they crave for Jupiter related stuff, the abundance or the general happiness. So with the help of other planets, if the other planets are very good, they can achieve this Jupiter related stuff also very easily, right? But if Jupiter is debilitated and other planets are also not greatly placed, then definitely you can expect in the native's life the delay or the less quality of things applied in education or in the career or in marriage, and then a childbirth also. So this is the general behavior of Jupiter. So let's try to talk about different ascendants. Like for Aries ascendant, if you take, Jupiter is the ninth lord. Of course it is the ninth lord and also the 12th lord, but it is more significance is given to the ninth lord, because Sagittarius is the Mula Trikona house of Jupiter. So for Aries ascendant, Jupiter is very, very functionally benefic planet. So if this particular functionally benefic Jupiter is debilitated, that means if it is falling in the 10th house, then it is not at all a good thing for them. So they may experience some kind of delays and problems in the education stuff. Also, the marriage is going to be delayed, and then whatever we discussed, right? In the profession also, they may do something good with the help of other planets, but it may not be very great. It may not be as per their expectations. So childbirth also, they may have some kind of delays, but it may happen. It may happen with the help of other planets, right? So Jupiter debilitation is not at all very good for the Aries ascendant people, because Jupiter is a functionally benefic planet. If this kind of functionally benefic planet is debilitated, then they may see this kind of problems. And if Jupiter is very nicely placed, right, then definitely it is going to give them a lot of abundance. Everything goes very smoothly, because as a ninth lord, it is going to give a lot of luck for sure. And then for Taurus ascendant, if you observe, for Taurus ascendant, Jupiter is a functionally malefic planet, so it is not a good planet for Taurus ascendant people. So it is okay if it is debilitated for them, because functional maleficity is right. So there are two. If you observe any planet has two varieties of natures. One is the general nature of the planet, and another one is the functional nature of the planet. Jupiter is general nature is very good, right? So the natural behavior of the planet. So naturally it is benefic. Jupiter is natural benefic for anybody, but functionally benefic or functionally malefic, it is decided by the ascendant. So for Taurus ascendant, it is the lord of the 8th house. Of course, it is lord of the 11th house also, but we mainly consider the Mula Trikona house. We mainly try to give more preference to the Mula Trikona house, because every planet tries to perform its duties, or whatever you say. Its main preference is on Mula Trikona house, then comes to the own house. For Jupiter, Sagittarius is the Mula Trikona house, and Pisces is the own house, right? So Mula Trikona house is given more importance in Vedic astrology, because that is the duty performing house, means that is the first preference given house, right? So obviously Jupiter is a functionally malefic planet for Taurus ascendant people. Even if you check the ascendant lord for Taurus ascendant, the ascendant lord is Venus, and for Venus, definitely Venus and Jupiter are not so, Venus is a Daitya Guru, means the Rakshasa Guru, and Jupiter is a Deva Guru, right? In that way also you can see there is it's not, Jupiter is not so well with Taurus ascendant people. So if this kind of Jupiter is debilitated, so functional maleficity, right? It's actually, if it is debilitated, that means if it is falling in the 9th house, right? So 9th house things will definitely go down, right? It is also not good for them. So they have to praise Jupiter for sure for this reason, right? So Jupiter is a functionally malefic, and at the same time it is the 8th lord, and if it is falling in the Capricorn, that is in the 9th sign, then obviously it may not give them very good results, right? So, but one thing is the 8th house maleficity is decreased now here. So it's a kind of balance you can always see for Taurus ascendant people when this 8th lord is falling it's debilitated, right? It's always a kind of reduction of some kind of badness, and also by nature it is not good. So that for Taurus ascendant people it's a kind of balance, right? And they all also have to check the other planets dignity for sure. And for Gemini ascendant people, there is some concept called as Kendradipatya dosha. It's the lord of the 7th house and also the 10th house. So because of that, Jupiter may not be proved to be very good for Gemini ascendant people. If you only try to consider this, that Kendradipatya dosha, then Jupiter is not a very good planet for them. And for them also, it is a kind of balance. You can say Jupiter is falling in the 8th house. So 7th lord in the 8th house may not be very good, right? It's a kind of balance, but at the same time, it is not going to give very good results for their marriage related stuff. Being a 7th lord falling in the 8th house is not at all considered to be auspicious for Gemini ascendant people. Also, they may definitely experience some problems in the marriage life for sure. And for Cancer ascendant people, if you observe, Jupiter is happen to be the 6th lord, right? Mainly 6th lord because we already discussed. Even though it is the 9th lord, the Pisces, right? At the same time, it is the 6th lord because uh, the Sagittarius is given more preference because it's the Mula Trikona house of Jupiter. So definitely it is a functionally malefic planet for Cancer ascendant people, and so this particular Jupiter, if it is falling on the 7th house, then they may experience some kind of marriage related problems for sure. And being after marriage, they may experience some kind of diseases, or they also can experience some kind of they may experience more enemies in their life after marriage, and also they may experience some kind of debts after marriage for sure. So that is for Cancer ascendant people. And if you observe the next ascendant, that is Leo ascendant, for Leo ascendant people, Jupiter is the 5th lord, and it is very very benefic actually for them. And if this particular benefic planet 5th lord is sitting in the 6th house, then they may definitely experience problems in the childbirth or after progeny. Once they get children also, they may experience some kind of children related issues in their family. So that is for Leo ascendant. And even more for Leo ascendant people, it is going to create some problems in the education also, because 5th house represents not only the children, it represents your intelligence, it represents your uh, education, the bachelor degree. So definitely Leo ascendant people, when this particular Jupiter is debilitated, they may experience some kind of problems in the bachelor education, if and only if Mercury is also not good. If Mercury is very well placed for Leo ascendant people, then definitely they may have very good time in the bachelor degree, because Mercury is the main significator of your whatever education you have. But here the Jupiter is also playing the role of the 5th lord, that is the significator of your bachelor degree education. So definitely you may experience some problems in the bachelor degree education if Mercury is also not well placed. Then if you observe the Virgo ascendant people, Jupiter is a primary benefic. So for Virgo ascendant people, if you call the biggest benefic planet, if you ask what is the biggest benefic planet for Virgo ascendant people, that is Jupiter. So if this particular Jupiter is sitting in the 5th house, right? Of course, it is a good thing, but at the same time, it is debilitated. So they may experience some kind of problems in the education stuff. So they may experience a very good seat in some college, but they get a kind of lower degree, or a kind of lower seat in some other lower college or something like that. So 4th house also represents the intermediate education, means the +1 and +2 education. So that is going to be suffered, because Jupiter is the lord of the 4th house here, or the primary functionally benefic planet. And if this is falling in the 5th house, so definitely the kind of disturbance is in the +1 +2 education, and also a kind of problems in the bachelor degree education. So they may expect a very good rank, but they get a very lesser rank in the education. So Jupiter is very important for them, and even they may have some kind of issues in the, because Jupiter is generally the representation of marriage and all the domestic life happiness, because 4th house is here for Virgo ascendant people. 4th house is the Sukhasthana, or the domestic experience, means the house in which they are really living. Something like for if you observe females in their sasural, means in their what I can say, mother-in-law, in-laws house, right? In the in-laws house, they may experience some kind of problems if the 4th lord Jupiter is in the 5th house. So they may not be very well, they are not comfortable with the domestic life environment. If with means if they are in after going to in-laws house, right, there in the domestic life environment, right, it may not be very good, and they may also face some kind of problems in the child birth and all the stuff. So that is the general behavior for Virgo ascendant people. And if you observe the Libra ascendant people, it is happened to be the lord of the third house. So because of them, they cannot get anything if this particular third lord Jupiter is debilitated by placement in the Capricorn, that is in the fourth house for Libra ascendant people. They will experience some problems related to self efforts. Something like, even though they put a lot of efforts, they are not going to gain much, because third house represents self efforts mainly, means the kind of means how much self efforts you can put and the gains from the self efforts. That is the third house. Third house is also your communication, and third house is your short distance travel. Third house is any kind of documents you have, something like your passport, visa, or something like that. So for Libra ascendant people, if this particular Jupiter is debilitated, then they may experience some kind of problems while going to some foreign countries also, means in the documentation process, in the visa process, in the passport, while getting the passport, all the stuff, any kind of paper, any kind of, even if for politicians also, if this particular third lord is debilitated, the Libra ascendant politicians, they may not get ticket. Something like they may get ticket for, they expect ticket for a very good constituency, but they get a ticket for a very bad constituency. Or if they expect some kind of ticket for something great, but they get a very less post, something like that. So all the third house related matters are going to be affected for them. Even more, something like the +1 and +2 education is also impacted for Libra ascendant people if Jupiter is debilitated. And if you consider the Scorpio ascendant people, definitely it is the lord of the second house, so it is going to give some kind of income related stuff. So when this particular Jupiter is debilitated, obviously your income is affected. You may want to have great income, but even if you put means the liquid cash, it's mainly the representation of your liquid cash, means how much bank balance you have, right? That is the second house stuff. So if this Jupiter, the second lord, is debilitated, then you may not have much bank balance. Whatever amount of money you have in the bank, that may be suddenly it may go, or month by month also it may go, based on the other planets' strength also it is decided. But of course, mainly the Jupiter impact, if you observe, this is the impact for Scorpio ascendant people. And for Sagittarius ascendant people, if this particular Jupiter is debilitated, then they may have health issues, and also they may have a kind of problems in the family, because Jupiter, this particular Jupiter represents your ascendant lord. So obviously ascendant represents your health mainly. So it's obviously you may have some health issues for sure because of this Jupiter debilitation. And for Capricorn ascendant people, Jupiter is your this particular Jupiter is your 12th lord. So if this 12th lord is debilitated, then you may not get enough amount of money for your expenditure, and also you may have some kind of health issues. That is for Capricorn ascendant people. And if you observe the next ascendant, that is Aquarius ascendant. For Aquarius ascendant, Jupiter is the 11th house lord, and obviously the 11th lord, if it is debilitated, you may not have any kind of gains. Whatever gains you have, all of them are going to be spent for some or the other stuff. So obviously your pocket will be always empty, and every time even you do lot of business or whatever you do, but finally you will end up with zero profits. So that is a main problem for Aquarius ascendant people, because Jupiter debilitation is not at all good for general wellness, right? And then if you observe the Pisces ascendant people, the Pisces ascendant people have this particular Jupiter as the 10th lord. So obviously this 10th lord debilitation is going to give you problems in your work environment. Mainly the delays, you experience a lot of delays, and also you can clearly experience some kind of delays in your promotion. You may experience, means your friends or your colleagues may get promotions very easily, but you may not get promotions very easily. It will take a lot of time for you to get a promotion, and you need to put a lot of efforts to get a promotion. Sometimes even after putting a lot of efforts, you are not going to be promoted in your work environment. Even you are doing very good work in compared to your colleagues, but still you are not going to be promoted because of this Jupiter debilitation. So these are the general effects of Jupiter debilitation for all the ascendants. Thanks for watching my video. And if you want any kind of remedies, so by doing successful remedies, definitely your Jupiter can be improved, and all the problems you have in your education or marriage or childbirth or in your professional life, right, whatever problems you're seeing, all of them are going to be can be very much rectified by doing very good remedies. And remedies are very easy also, and if you want any remedies, please contact me on my email ID. Thanks for watching my video.